Guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and this is rags to riches, I'm going to call this, because today we're on this 40-foot trawler, and we're replacing all the cooling system, the entire system, from thermostat to all the coolers, the gear cooler, the oil cooler, and the main cooler, and all of the lines. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, and make sure you like the video, please, and leave a comment down below. I appreciate it. Anyway, and then after that, the next day we head off to a $1 million yacht where we take that over to the Bahamas. So anyway, enjoy today's video, and God bless. And I'll see you guys at the other end. This is a perfect example of this market. This is the 40-foot Choi Lee that we delivered. I don't know, it's been almost 2 years now. And anyway, we got new oil coolers, new transmission coolers, and 2 new main coolers. So we're going through the complete cooling system on this boat because Doc has taken it off the market, and now he's going to go back to doing America's Great Loop. I'm super proud of him too, because that's what he bought the boat for originally. He's owned it for about 10 years, and instead of selling it, he's going to go get it back ready to do the loop. The price on these boats, it's really not going to go much more than, the buck value on it's about $90,000. He might be able to sell it for $100,000. We had a buyer earlier in the year, but that buyer disappeared. And here we are getting it ready again. And he's decided to take it off the market and go back to doing America's Great Loop with it. So I'm excited about it. I'm glad he's doing it. I want to hear in the comments, what do you guys think? Should have he sold it, or should he be getting it ready to do the loop again? All right, guys, this is what's wrong with a lot of the market today. Is this maintenance is not done. And what these are right here, we have Ford Lehman engines. Those are one of my favorites, especially for you budget-minded trawlers. And these are the main coolers right here. So we're going to go down, check them, make sure all of our ports look correct. And then we're going to go ahead and start changing these out. So these coolers right here take antifreeze through here. They have seawater going through them and antifreeze. And seawater is what cools these right here, and then the engine coolant goes through these right here, and that's what cools the main engine. Each one of these are oil coolers and transmission coolers right here. We got one for each engine, and those coolers will be changed as well. So now let's head down into the engine room and let's take a look. So what are we doing, Captain Paul? What we're doing here is we're replacing these coolers. So this is a main cooler right here. This is the transmission cooler, and this is the oil cooler over here. So I do have some good news to report, because this doesn't happen very often, but during COVID, these coolers right here, this cooler right here and this cooler right here, were both $300 a piece during COVID. Pre-COVID, they were $150. Doc just bought brand new ones, and they were back to $150. So we're back, baby. And then this cooler right here, which I've purchased these coolers before, these exact coolers, and they seem to be right around that same price that I paid even 10 years ago. This cooler right here is $650. That's what he paid for the cooler. So that's all good news. So inflation has not hit these parts. The prices have come back down. I'm guessing here, but I'm going to guess that these are for the transmissions, and these are my main oil coolers, but I don't know that for sure. So I'm going to call Brian over at American Diesel and check with him and find out which ones go where. And then it's possible, I've got a 1 o'clock appointment, to maybe we can get the transmission ones changed out, if I can find the line. Guys, I am glad I called Brian, because I would have got this wrong. I thought they're both the same exact cooler, and I can use them wherever I want to. But this is our actual oil cooler right here, and this piece goes forward. So the oil cooler is going to get installed just like that. Now there's no zincs in this one right here. There's zincs in the other ones. Told me to install it. The zinc, this is the zinc right here. It goes to the port side of the motor. They want it on the X side of the motor. That way, if the zinc breaks off, it doesn't plug up or hurt the cooler. So this one gets installed this way, just like this. It'll go in just like that right there. So that's the way we'll install them, exactly the way they said. And then I'm gonna go grab one of these coolers and we'll check this one. So I'm glad I called Brian. That was good info. We can't screw this up. I just put this in the same exact way that that one goes in. So we will not be installing the transmission cooler because it's in the way of installing the big main cooler. So what I might do right now is find a bucket. I'm gonna look for the hoses, and then I might start draining the antifreeze. That doesn't know here, we're looking at the cooling system on these Ford Lehmans. So that up here is just like the radiator on your car. That has coolant in it, so antifreeze. And it comes down here, comes over here, comes into this main cooler right here. This main cooler carries antifreeze and salt water, and that's how it's cooled. This cooler right here, transmission fluid and salt water. This cooler right here, this is our oil cooler. This carries oil and salt water, and it comes in. This is where it starts right here. This is your raw water pump, comes up, feeds through the cooler here, then goes into the main cooler, then branches over to this cooler, and that's how the salt water comes in here. But each one of these coolers carries a different fluid and does a different job. What I got going on right now is I'm gonna try and drain the antifreeze out of here, and I'm gonna try not to get any of that in the bilge. The raw water, which is this line right here, this line right here, I don't care about. But the actual antifreeze, which is this line right here, that's what I care about. I don't want to get any of that in the bilge if I can help it, or as very little as possible, because that'll have to be vacuumed out and taken care of differently than seawater I can just pump overboard. So I'm going to take this little guy off right here. I'm going to kind of see where that water drains down. I could also get on one of these coolers right here, and I could possibly pull the line, but I can already see the antifreeze start to come out here. So we'll bust that free. And I could actually cut this hose if I wanted to, because we're replacing all these. What I don't have is new hose clamps, but I can get some new hose clamps. There we go, got that off there. All right, so that's loose. Now I just want to kind of see where this antifreeze is going to go to. Because I got my bucket here ready, and I got I got my 5-gallon bucket, and I've got my cone here ready, my funnel. So I got a good little drain spot here. I've got my funnel in place, and it's going into the 5-gallon bucket here. That's what I want to see. We'll just take our time and get all the antifreeze out of here. And then it's just basically start pulling lines and coolers. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just removing the lines to the cooler, which this one doesn't have a whole lot of lines on it. Also, we're putting new lines on here. And the way I do this, like, it's just because I've done this a few times now, to change this cooler, the transmission cooler, and the oil cooler. It's about 6 hours each engine. So I just go like a day on each engine. It's typically what it takes if you don't run into any major problems with lines or something like that. I've had it happen to me a few times, and it's extended a little bit, but you can see I got the antifreeze out of here. It's about 2 gallons in this system right here. This is the lowest point for the coolant. So we got our coolant out of here. We've got it safely in this bucket right here. And now I'm just gonna pull this off of here. I'm gonna pull these lines down. This what's inside here doesn't matter. It's just, that's just seawater. So it's just goes in the bilge, and we can just pump that overboard. No big deal at all. All right, guys, day 2 here. Yesterday, last night, I went and picked up hose clamps. We got all brand new stainless hose clamps. Right now, I'm gonna take this cooler off. And then this one, you can see I've got all the lines off of it. So these are all loose, ready to come off. Then we're gonna change out these lines. We'll change out the oil cooler. and then move forward. I think on this one we're going to do the thermostat while we got it out here. The thermostats on these are a little bit tricky, but while we got the coolant out, let's do it all. Do the whole cooling system. So I've got one of my lines off for the coolers. This side doesn't spin, so you have to take this side off right here. Then I just use a towel here. This boat hasn't been run for a couple of months. We haven't taken it out of slip in over a year, but and I do put it in gear when we do start it, which will turn transmission fluid. But there's not a lot of fluid in this right here because everything is settled into the gear. So you got to take this line off first, and then you take that line off. And then you can see right here, I'm putting them back on my coolers the way they go. And then we'll pull the strap off, pull both of these coolers off, and then put them both back on together. The reason I do this is because the cooler's bolted in there, and once it's loose, the lines are just harder to get off. So I just do it that way. See what I'm saying? That's not a spinning line. So you gotta take that other one off, because you gotta get to the spinning end, if that makes sense. So see what I'm saying? This has a swivel on it. This side does not. Now I can tighten these up after I get them back on the cooler, but right now I just take them, I get them as tight as I can, try and get my line back up to where they should be. Okay, now this cooler is ready. Actually, it goes like this. It goes in like this. Both my lines are ready to go back on, and if I have to go one more turn on one of them, I can. But now we'll just pull that cooler and get it out of our way, and it goes into the trash. Really only one way this cooler can go on. Right here's our zinc, it's drain valve. And like I said, there's only one way. It can only go on like that right there, because it bolts into place. So get this bolted on, get the other cooler back on, replace the lines, and then move on to the... So what I'm doing here is working this hose on here, and you can't get to this hose clamp with the filters on here. So what I had to do is I just removed the hose, this whole assembly right here. And I'm just going to leave it loose. Now I'm just going to slide my cooler in here. This is the main cooler right here. And then we're going to pull that reservoir off on the top right there, and then we'll slide that down into it, if that makes sense. So I've done these Ford Lehmans probably, this will be about the 5th or 6th time. So for me, I don't always change every line, but we're doing that on this one, and that's also slowing it down just a little bit. To change just the coolers is about a little less than a little over a half a day, but with all the lines and everything, I would budget, if it's your first time, I would budget 2 days, 1 day for each engine. All right, guys, so what we have here is the oil cooler. We're getting ready to change that next, and right now I'm just changing out all these lines. The main cooler, this is the main cooler right here. This is the new one that's installed, and now I'm putting all new lines on here. This is brand new hose clamps, brand new hose clamps. Over here we've got the gear cooler right here, and we're putting new clamps, new lines on those. You see that's a brand new line right there, new clamps. And that's what we're doing right now. All right, so I'm working on my last cooler here. Woo! And I just loosened my hose clamps. I took the clamp off the line right here. I've got my lines off there, and then I just roll it up to keep the oil. Also, make sure you have some of these diapers with you, because you're going to leak a little bit of oil. Not too bad. It's not a lot of oil. It's not as much as you might think. All right, last cooler for this engine. So it just goes in like this. This cooler was probably the easiest one to change, but the gear cooler was a little bit bigger, so it made the lines a little more complicated. So now I just got to tighten up these two lines, tighten up my hose clamps here. I got two hose clamps. Put a new line here, and then one more new line right here that goes from here, and this is all raw water coming up into here. That's the main feed for the raw water coming up into the to the main cooler. So just tighten up these lines. And pulling lines, for anybody that hasn't done it, is not an easy chore. I want to hear in the comments, what do you guys think? Anyway, I got to cut one more line for this. They give us a prefabricated guy right here. So I just need to nib that off or match it to the other one, which I believe is this guy right here. So I just need to cut this to there, put that on there, and put the two hose clamps on, and then all of my coolers are done. Woo! I'm happy. So that was a job. We've got all of the coolers changed. So this is the engine oil cooler right here. So you got raw water comes through here, and that's what starts feeding the system. And then put the lines back on, and put all new hose clamps and new lines on everything. So the entire cooling system now, except for we got to pull this off, do the a new radiator cap, and we've got to, if we want to put a new thermostat on here, which we've both said we're going to, and then change that hose over there, which is the last thing we got to do. All right, to change that thermostat, it's just this housing right here, and then you just got these two bolts. Pull it up, and that exposed our thermostat right there. And then we're going to change this hose right here. And on the Lehmans, the radiator hose, or this hose runs through that belt, so we have to run that through the belt while we're changing. So we have the new thermostat in, and now I just loosen the hose clamps here, and we'll pull this off here, and then you see we got to put this belt back through that line, because you have to have that, and that's our spare belt for the water pump and the alternator, the regular alternator. So we got to do that when we put the line back on, the new radiator line. So we pulled the thermostat out real quick, and then I put the fluid in there. I put a gallon in there that way before we start, because then we don't have to wait for the engine to come all the way up to temperature to get it start to circulate in the block. So that's why we did that. Paul, I hope you guys enjoyed that video of me changing all the coolers in that two Ford Lehmans. I've only done one, but we'll do the next one when I'm back in town the next time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. God bless. Thank you so much for watching. You have no idea. Today we're on the Sabre 58. We just brought it over to the Bahamas, and I'm finishing up this video. Anyway, God bless. Peace out. Remember, live life with no regret. I do, and thank you so much for watching. You have no idea. And leave a comment down below. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Bye.